and it's success, right?
Yeah.
And that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, thank God.
But what if you did all of these things
Yeah.
and it didn't turn out to be as successful? Would you have any regret? Would you have any like doubt? Like, how would you feel if instead of all the success that you got, it was very like minimal, you know?
I'm gonna be honest with you, it was no way. And I'm gonna tell you why, because I had it in my mind, kind of like a get 50 Cent, get rich or die trying. I'm going hard. And I'm not gonna have nothing to show for it. Because I used to beat myself up about it. I danced in the club for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And I just was like, I seen girls retiring, and no, I don't judge nobody for what they choose to do after that world. But I just don't feel, for me, it made sense to have gone through being my own independent contractor, AKA dancing, and then having to go and be told what to do and work for somebody. I didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
I became so used to having my freedom, so used to making a certain amount of money that I'm like, if I do anything else after this, I have to make more money, and I still have to I want to have even more freedom. So I'm like, I was praying every day. I was literally asking God to present opportunities to me and just let me be wise enough to know which opportunity to pick. And my heart is good, so I'm just going to go with it. And I literally did a lot of things for free, off the strength, just because. And I was just praying and asking God to present opportunities to me. And thank God it was presented to me. If I had no idea that it would be this way.
But do you feel like sometimes, sometimes the perception that you create can be very real, even though it's not real.
Yeah.
Right.
Uh-huh.
So like I kind of know you. I don't know you. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I've met you a couple times, 2 times, right? Mm-hmm. So here at Age of Table.
Yeah.
Right. So, but I think that you're a good person, right? Soulfully, heart, like your heart is good, but your heart is good. But what I'm saying is, if I just saw you probably on social media, I would never guess that.
What would you think?
If I saw you on social
media,
media,
be real, because you've seen my social.
Yeah,
so
if I saw you
ever spoke to me.
I mean, I saw you on social media because we were following each other for a little while.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, she's out there, like,
yes.
she's out there, like,
all
right,
real, like, I give off the impression I'm a hoe, right or wrong. Come on, don't hold back. Come on,
you're my friend. I want to do it to you, but
right or wrong. Yes,
all right, so like, you give up the perception that you definitely
giving that thing up.
I don't want to say you're giving that thing up, but you could be bought.
Yeah.
I think that
I'm selling it.
I to me, it's like you're high price.
I'm high price?
Yeah, you're expensive.
I'm selling it though, right?
Yeah, but it's expensive. Not everybody can afford to buy it. Yeah.
But it's for sale.
For certain prices.
For certain prices.
Yeah, okay. But that's the perception that I thought. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
But then once you got to know me a little bit, what do you think now?
I think that you're cool, and I think that you're not. I think that, but this is what I'm trying to say, right?
Yeah, keep it real.
Give it all up. But what happens is like you could potentially push away somebody who's supposed to be with you by the perception that you create, even though it's not who you really are.
And I'm okay with that.
You are.
Yes.
Even if it's even the person that could be right for you.
Let me tell you something, right?
Yeah.
So here's the thing. When I was in homeless shelter, right? Mm-hmm. When I was with my daughter at that homeless shelter, pregnant at that homeless shelter before I had her, in a car, suicidal because I was 9 months pregnant, didn't imagine my life being what it was, literally nowhere to go, nobody, like my mom, trying to help me with her last bit of whatever she had, and I never envisioned that for my life. Mm-hmm. As when you're a kid, you envision certain things, and being pregnant in a homeless shelter around Christmas time was not it for me. So I tried to commit suicide, 9 months pregnant. And I remember I had like a bottle of pills, and I was in my car, and because I did have a car that I paid for with my stripper money prior to, that, but I didn't save money. I was a dancer. I had the personality where it was just like most girls that dance. Yeah, you gonna get it back. So when I found out I was pregnant, I was surprised and didn't have any money saved up, and I was really, really sick and nauseous with morning sickness, and I could not dance even if I wanted to try to stack up some bread. So I was literally like assed out. And as I got towards like my 9th month, my mom, like it was around Christmas, Thanksgiving time, and she just, she was trying to help me as much as she could, but she just couldn't help me anymore, and it hurt her really bad. And she just was like, come stay with me. And I'm like, nah, it's okay. I have a lot of brothers and sisters. And I'm like, I'm not about to squeeze in a 2-bedroom apartment with you and brand new baby and make y'all all uncomfortable, even though they would have me. But I just was like, no, I'd rather just go for the homeless shelter. At least I can try to get some sort of services, benefits. But, I really understand when people say like depression hits around holidays, because it hits all the time, but especially around the holidays when you're like broke as hell and you're homeless and you don't have nothing and you're just like not even knowing where to even start or pick up the pieces, and then you got a brand new baby that didn't ask to be here, like inside of you. Like I just was going through it really bad, and I was just like, I don't want to bring a child into this world like that. So I don't even want to be here right now. I'm gonna leave. Like it's time. I'm out. And I remember I had the pills. I was in the car and she kept kicking me. She kept kicking me. And I heard my daughter's voice. I promise you, I heard my daughter's voice. And she kept saying to me in my head as I was crying, because I couldn't stop crying. I was just trying to get myself prepared for what I was about to do. And I heard her little voice say, "Mommy, please don't do this. Like, just give me a chance. I promise when I get here, I'll make you happy. Just give me a chance. Please don't do this." And like, I literally heard it. I couldn't make this up if I wanted to. And I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it, but I was this close to doing it. I just couldn't do it. And I thank God I did it, because if I would have, look at this.
What's the difference between being a good woman and a strong woman?
What do you think?
All right, I'm gonna be honest with you. Mm-hmm. See, a good woman, there's no level of compromising.
Really?
A strong woman is someone who's willing to do whatever means necessary.
I'm a strong woman.
You know what I'm saying? So like, I hear your story, and I honestly, I commend you 1,000%.
Thank you.
I respect you. You know what I'm saying? However, there's always another way you could go about things. So
let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
In that situation, right? Yeah. What way would you think to tell someone to go about things?
So me being, I grew up the same way. Basically, your story that you're saying, right? Fast forward it where the baby's born. I was the baby with that parent, that struggling parent in the car. You know what I'm saying? So I was the product of the struggle.
Yeah.
Where I was born into it. Granted, my mom did a lot of things.
Pardon me. I'm sorry.
That's all right. My mom did a lot of things that she had to do, but none of them went to that left side, and it took a long time.
AKA, none of them resulted in the things that I did.
I've said to the left side. Well, I mean, like whatever is compromising.
Okay.
Right. But although there were some compromising, I watched my mom selling drugs at one point. That's still compromising.
It is, because I mean, everybody has their thing. Drugs, stripping. I feel like it's all street things.
I feel like when it comes to stripping, it's easy.
It's not.
It's not easy in terms of mentally. It's an easy way out.
It's legal. That's what I will say.
It was like even because I feel like men shame women who strip to get successful, but we also shame men who strip to get successful as well. It's actually fair for the people who are not stripping that are men. Yeah. We judge them equally.
See, here's the thing, right? So I disagree with you on that, right? Okay. Because I feel like selling drugs and stripping is two different, they're
both bad.
They're both bad. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So.
Well, my mom was selling weed.
I mean, either way, it's still something that, you just never know. Like, it could cause something in someone that, I don't know anybody that died from weed, but still. Let's just say it was drugs, right? Mm-hmm. Cool. So everybody has their outlook on it. There's some people that are holier than thou that'll be looking at both of us and being like, oh, your mother did what? Oh, you stripped? And it's just like, okay, only God can judge me, but sure, you never sinned. You are not sitting there judging me, which is, not even something you're supposed to do in itself. Gluttony is a sin. There's different levels of sins. Yeah. Fornication is a sin. There's so many different sins. Like, if you really want to think about,
but you gotta
all of that is sin.
But that's what I'm saying. You have to see, good and strong is different. Strong means you can commit a sin and regroup. A lot of people are strong enough to do the wrong things and never rebound from it. They actually cripple themselves once they enter into something that is outside of themselves.
I've always come into this game with a limit, right?
With a limit?
With a limit.
Okay.
So I knew that I shouldn't have been, I was a church girl, truth be told. That's why when a lot of people seen and heard that I was dancing, they was just like, what? Not her. Like, are you serious? Because I disappeared for a minute. And I went to Atlanta at the age of 19, and it was
Atlanta would do it to you.
Yeah, and I was homeless out there. So it was just like, my dad I needed a place to stay. He told me, he gave me $25 and said, give it back to him when I could. And I was in the streets, like in the streets. So scared in the streets, young, like it was a lot going on. I have a hell of a story. But I literally, that's how I got kind of like pulled into it by my best friend. She had a place to stay with her mom, but I didn't have a place to stay out there. So it was like, okay, you're about to either hopefully ask her to sleep in the car for as long as you can until you figure it out. And you gotta like, what are you gonna eat? How you got like just so much stuff went through my mind. But I like see, that's the thing. How can you who are you to judge?
Because
right? You're not perfect,
it's not that
right?
I'm judging.
I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
We've all done things that were below what we thought as a kid we would ever have to do as an adult, right?
Yeah.
I can't judge you for your walk that you chose to, have, and I don't feel like it's fair for, I won't just say you, but anybody to judge other people. Yeah, they do it, and that's free will. You can do whatever you want. But since when has it become what you deem as morally respectable, right, in comparison to somebody else's morally respectable? Somebody might look at you and say the things you did is not morally respectable.
Yeah, I mean, no, I'm not saying that that's the case at all. I want to just like we're sticking on a point. We're talking about good versus strong.
Of course,
right? And I feel like,
but that's what I'm saying. We're still sticking to that point.
I did a lot of things that were not good.
Yeah.
Right? But what I did
But
do.
who's to say that? Is what I'm saying.
No.
Everybody's version of
you
good
know
is different.
No. You know when what you're doing is not good, and
because of how you were raised.
Typically say names, right? But shout out Antonio Brown.
Okay.
And the only reason why, because on one of the things he said, at the end of the day, I gotta look myself in the mirror and be able to stomach myself.
Of course.
And I feel like a lot of people do things that they can't stomach themselves at that moment, and they learn to live with it, which is different. That's when you're not doing. That's when you know what you're doing is not good.
Okay.
You know. Now, if you can get over it, that's when you tap into the other side of the spectrum in this conversation, where I say that's when you end up being strong.
Yeah.
Right. You can't be broken. You're not. You've already been at the lowest. You figured out how you're going to do it. You did things that you know you can't stomach yourself for doing, but you got through it, and now you forgave yourself and you rebuilt yourself.
This might sound crazy to you.
Yeah.
I've done things, and I don't even get into this might sound crazy. When I've done things that wasn't money related, I felt really bad in comparison to things that I've done that was money related.
Could it be because you were used to doing those things for money, so it was almost like a waste?
No, it was because I felt like I didn't feel used.
You didn't feel used when you got something out of it.
Yes.
So the intangible things didn't add up to the tangible things.
Yeah, I felt used.
Yeah.
Like I really felt used, like dancing, right? Mm-hmm. So if I was to, let's say, what I have to do in the club, right? Some days I'll go in there, and this is just a frame of mind thing. I'll go in there, and I'm not in the mood. I don't want to be touched. Don't feel like I'm introvert, but you have to force yourself to be extrovert when you're in that world. So, I don't want to be touched. I don't feel like being bothered with anybody, but I got bills, and I'm thinking about those bills. And that's the only thing I look at you when you come in the club that night and see is bills. Money, bills. Cool, I'm about to pay this, what I got to pay in the morning. And you literally have to just kind of walk yourself through it. And I say that to say let's say I seen you at the club, right? And I danced on you. And I was butt naked, putting my titties in your face, putting my ass in your face. I'm twerking on you. You trying to touch my kitty cat, whatever. And I'm just but I'm doing all that. Do you think that if I did that for free, I would feel good? In comparison to knowing I'm doing something to help change my I wouldn't feel good. I would feel used. I would feel down. I'd feel like, what the heck am I doing this for? Why am I even lowering myself to do this? But it makes sense when there's money involved.
I mean, to a certain extent. I feel like most people, in the beginning, it doesn't feel good for money either. I feel like in the beginning, like you said,
you don't have time to think about that in the beginning. Because most of the time when you start, you're in a desperate place. And all you're thinking about is what needs to happen right now for you to get out of that. Yeah. So you don't even have time to think about that in the beginning.
But that's what I'm saying. So the crazy thing is now we're talking about something that we did mention on Aid the Table before, which is the survival mode.
Yes.
And survival mode is the most hardest of modes that you could really be in, or the most crucial modes that you can end up being in. And it's because you would do things that we know typically you would not do. You know, so I understand and I relate because I did things like I did a lot of illegal things that in my
Yeah,
younger
you would
days
never
that I
even
wouldn't
imagine
do.
yourself doing.
But one thing that stuck out to me in what you were saying is that you would feel used, right, if it was for free, which is in a way is saying the intangible things don't add up to the tangible things.
What does it for me is what
At that time,
No.
I'm not speaking in present.
Yeah, no, like what does it for me? I'm a demisexual, right? So
Elaborate. What's the demisexual?
I'm a demisexual.
I keep hearing that, and
Yeah.
I never
So I'm
remember
explaining.
that.
So there's demisexual, there's sapiosexual, right? I'm a demisexual and a mixture of sapiosexual. Demisexual is someone that is drawn to and attracted to a person and how they make them feel, emotions, emotional, like basically you tapping into my emotions.
Yeah. Which can be manipulated too.
It can, but you know that's what I am. And I love the sweet things, the tell me all the wonderful things. And you're right, it can be for someone that is a narcissist and all that other stuff we were talking about earlier.
Let's not. Who are you to judge?
Yeah, but I'm just saying for someone that is. I'm not saying who is or who isn't.
Yeah.
But for those kind of people that are like really calculated, it can be a bad thing. But I've been through a lot to really kind of my red flags go off when I feel like I've encountered those kind of people.
Yeah.
Although
you've learned from your mistakes.
Yeah, I have. So yeah. With that being said, yeah.
So here's my thing though, right?
If I'm not getting what I want out of it, aka, then it makes no sense for me to be doing stuff that is only pleasing one party and not the other.
But what I'm saying is, even if it was pleasing you, like before, like because I highly doubt, and correct me if I'm wrong, when we're talking about having sexual, like intercourse or doing sexual activities with somebody, right, with no money involved.
Yeah, I'm not even talking about sex, but go ahead.
Like, I mean, dancing, even lap dance, like, because it's kind of still sexual. Don't get me wrong.
It is.
Like,
it's all sexual.
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 Sexual fantasies.
Yes.
Anything along the lines of sexual, right?
Yes.
When you're doing it for no money involved, it's so crazy to me because this is just my opinion. You have to literally tap out of, you have to recondition your mind to think what is valuable. Right? Because what ends up happening is for you to get that sexual with somebody, you have to think of it as a monetary thing. Versus when you said that you would feel worse if, let's say, I was dating you, right? And I don't know, let's say we're talking for X amount of months, and now you're starting to feel me and I'm starting to feel you. And you do these things with me.
If I'm dating you, I wouldn't feel that way.
Oh, I mean.
It's because of you're a stranger. You know what I'm saying? And I'm coming out of my comfort to do things that is out of my norm. Because I'm introverted for one, you're a stranger for two, and then I'm having to like honestly come in. I put myself, when I was dancing, I used to go by the name of Star, and I have to put myself, I have to put myself into that role.
Star turned to a superstar?
Yeah. So I put myself into that role.
Yeah.
So I've alter ego, aka.
But you said that you would feel worse that if you did something, right?
Because I'm getting nothing out of it. I'm not even getting the things that are free out of it, the emotional
those things that you, so we're just saying like you did like for fun things then.
Like basically just saying like I need to get something out of it. If you're getting something out of it, it's only right that we, both get something out of it. I'm not saying it has to be money involved, but for me to just walk up to a complete stranger and do all those things and I didn't even get any enjoyment from it.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
it would be for what? So at least I can walk away with money, and that is what I enjoy. So I got something out of it.
Now I don't think anybody should do anything for any type of non-reciprocating factors.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
But I was just like, the way I took it was like, if you did something with somebody that you were interested in, you would feel worse because there was no money involved.
No. I'm saying for me to come out of my shell and do that for one with a complete stranger when I'm an introvert, that right there is like something that's taking me out of my zone. But even if I was to like, let's say, when you're in survival mode, you can't really you're not even yourself at that point because you're so focused on things that have to get taken care of. You can't even really tap into your emotions because they're kind of just somewhere tucked in. Yeah, because you're just focused on what you got to get out the way, what you got to take care of, adulting, and it's hard.
And I mean, I'm hearing this, and I agree because I've been there, and the only way I personally could relate is when I was 20 years old. See, this is what I think about when we talk about good, right? When I was 21 years old, actually, and I got kicked out of college because I was being bad. I was just in the streets doing stupid shit.
Yeah.
Right? I had I literally went to the bathroom and I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, I know I'm good at selling drugs. I know I'm good at doing all these, you know what I'm saying, illegal things to get money.
What age you started selling drugs?
I started selling drugs when I was 14.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah, when I was 14 years old, I started selling drugs. I was a freshman in high school.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
So like, when I got kicked out of college, I was like, I knew I'm good at this.
Yeah.
And I literally said, I'm not gonna go this route though.
Yeah.
I picked up 2 jobs and I worked 60 hours a week
Oh, that's
for
good.
2 years. You know what I'm saying? And
Good for you.
but what I'm saying is like at some point in time, right? At some point in time, I mean, like I feel like that's when it counts, because I was now a young adult, right? I don't really deem things before 21 really any like you're still a child. So as an adult, I was like, I'm not gonna keep going back to those ways. I got to figure this out the right way.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I did everything 100% right because clearly I
Nobody's perfect.
I had dabbled in some things that I knew I shouldn't, and that's why I caught a case.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, for the most part, a good person is going to try to stick to doing things in a way that is going to be less crucial in the future.